It was a quiet winter evening in the little village of Snow Hollow. Snowflakes drifted down like tiny feathers, and the whole world seemed to sparkle under the moonlight. Inside a small, warm cottage, Sammy the bear cub and his best friend Lily the bunny were getting ready for bed. Their soft pajamas were covered in stars, and the fire crackled gently in the fireplace. "Before we sleep," said Lily, "can we read one more story?" Sammy smiled sleepily. "Only if it's a snowy one." Lily opened their favorite storybook, The Magical Snowflake. Her voice was soft and calm. "Once upon a time," she began, "there was a snowflake that didn't want to melt. It wanted to see the world instead." Sammy's eyes grew wide. "Just like us," he whispered. In the story, the little snowflake floated over forests, rivers, and mountains, meeting foxes, owls, and tiny children who made snowmen under the stars. It finally landed on a little bear's nose and whispered, "Thank you for catching me." Lily turned the page and smiled. And the bear kept the snowflake safe forever in his heart. Sammy yawned. That was beautiful. Outside, the real snow kept falling, covering the cottage roof in a soft white blanket. Lily tucked the storybook away and blew out the lantern. "Good night, Sammy." "Good night, Lily," he murmured, already half asleep. The two friends cuddled under their warm quilt. The wind hummed a gentle song through the trees, and somewhere in the night, a snowflake landed softly on the window, sparkling like a tiny star. And as they drifted into dreams, it felt like the snowflake from their story was watching over them. Welcome to DreamyTime Bedtime Stories. Tonight's tale is called Sammy and Lily's Snowy Bedtime Adventure. So, snuggle up under your blanket, close your eyes, take a deep, slow breath. And let's begin. It was a peaceful winter evening in a little village called Snow Hollow. Big, fluffy snowflakes were falling gently outside, blanketing every roof, every tree, and every window with a soft, shimmery white glow. Inside a cozy cottage, warmed by a crackling fire, two best friends, Sammy the bear cub and Lily the bunny, were getting ready for bed. They had just finished their warm milk and honey and were tucked snugly into their beds. Lily pulled her favorite patchwork quilt up to her chin. "Sammy," she whispered, her voice as soft as the falling snow. "Before we sleep, could we please read just one more story?" Sammy, already very sleepy, let out a big, warm yawn. His voice was a low, rumbly murmur. "Only if it's a snowy one, Lily. A very, very snowy one." With a happy little smile, Lily reached for their most treasured storybook, its cover worn smooth from many nights of reading. It was called The Adventures of the Magical Snowflake. She opened the book carefully, the pages turning with a quiet whisper. Her voice was gentle and warm, like a cozy hug, as she began to read the story aloud. "Once upon a time," Lily read softly, "in a cloud high above the world, there was a tiny snowflake that was different from all the others. While its brothers and sisters were excited to fall and melt, this little snowflake had a special dream. It didn't want to melt. It wanted to travel the world and see all its wonders. The tiny snowflake waited for the perfect gust of wind and then leaped from its cloud, beginning its grand adventure. It floated high above deep green forests where sleepy owls hooted goodnight to the moon. It danced over sparkling rivers that glittered like ribbons of silver under the stars. It drifted silently over sleepy little towns where every window glowed with a warm, friendly light. Along its journey, the little snowflake met so many new friends. It met wise old owls who told it stories of the night sky, and playful foxes who laughed as they chased each other through the snow. It even passed by a group of happy children who were building a jolly snowman under the moonlight, their cheerful giggles echoing in the crisp night air. The snowflake felt so happy to see the world. At last, after a long and wonderful journey, the snowflake felt itself getting tired. It floated down, 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 until it landed ever so gently on the nose of a little bear cub who was fast asleep in his cozy den. The snowflake whispered, so quietly that only the bear's heart could hear, "Thank you for catching me. I will keep your dreams safe and warm." Lily smiled and gently closed the book. She looked over at Sammy, whose eyes were now closed. And the magical snowflake stayed in the little bear's heart forever, she whispered, her voice barely a breath. Sammy let out another big, sleepy yawn, his body feeling warm and heavy with sleep. That was a beautiful story, Lily. My favorite one. His voice trailed off as he snuggled deeper into his pillow. Outside, the snow continued to fall, thicker and softer than before. The whole world seemed to be humming a slow, sleepy lullaby. The wind whispered gently through the pine trees, and the moon cast a peaceful glow over the quiet village of Snow Hollow. Lily reached over and blew out the little lantern by their bedside, filling the room with a soft, comforting darkness. "Good night, Sammy," she whispered into the quiet. From across the room, a sleepy little mumble replied, "Good night, Lily." And as the two best friends drifted off into wonderful dreams, a single, perfect snowflake landed on their window pane. It sparkled in the moonlight, shining just like a tiny magical star, watching over them as they slept. Good night, little dreamer. Sleep well. Welcome back to DreamyTime Bedtime Stories. Tonight's tale is called Sammy and Lily's Magical Winter Wish. So, find a cozy spot, close your eyes, take a nice, slow, deep breath, and let's drift off together into the snowy world of dreams. It was a cold and quiet winter night in a snug little cottage, nestled right at the edge of Snow Hollow Forest. Outside, the stars twinkled like tiny diamonds scattered across a dark velvet blanket, and the moonlight painted beautiful silver shadows across the fresh, clean snow. Inside, Sammy the bear cub was looking out the window, his breath making a little cloud on the cold glass. "Lily," he whispered to his best friend, who was already snuggled under the covers. "Do you think wishes really, truly come true?" Lily the bunny, her long ears drooping with sleepiness, blinked her soft brown eyes. "Of course they do, Sammy," she mumbled into her pillow. "Grandma Bunny always said they do. But only if your heart is kind and brave, and your wish is pure." Sammy nodded, his little bear eyes wide with wonder as he gazed at the sparkling night sky. "Then I have a wish," he said softly, almost to himself. "I wish for something extra special. I wish the snow could sparkle just like those stars, forever and ever." Lily let out a sleepy little giggle. "Oh, Sammy, that's a very big wish." Just as she said that, a soft, warm glow began to fill the room, pushing back the shadows. It grew brighter and brighter until a tiny, shimmering light floated right in through the window pane. It danced in the air, a perfect, glowing snowflake. It was a winter spirit. "Sammy, Lily," a gentle, echoing voice whispered, as soft as falling snow. "Your wish has reached the stars." Sammy gasped, his little jaw dropping. Are you real?" he stammered, pointing a fuzzy paw. The spirit seemed to smile, its light pulsing warmly. "Every true wish becomes real in its own way," she explained. She gracefully waved her shining, translucent hands, and suddenly, something magical happened outside. The snow, which had been just plain white moments before, began to twinkle and shimmer with 1,000 points of light, just like diamonds. Lily's eyes grew as wide as saucers. "Sammy, look! It's beautiful!" she cried, hopping out of bed to join him at the window. The trees in the forest sparkled as if they were decorated with fairy lights. The rooftops of the other cottages in the village glowed with a soft, magical light. The entire forest, the whole world it seemed, was shimmering like a beautiful dream. The winter spirit floated closer, her voice a gentle lullaby. "Remember, little ones, the true magic of winter isn't just in the sparkling snow. It's in the warmth of friendship, the power of kindness, and the beautiful dreams you share with each other." With those words, she began to float higher, her light slowly fading as she drifted back towards the night sky, becoming just another star among the millions. Sammy and Lily climbed back into their warm bed, cuddling close under their soft quilt. The room was quiet again, except for the gentle crackle of the fire. "Lily," Sammy whispered, his voice full of awe. "Do you think the winter spirit will ever visit us again?" Lily yawned, her eyes fluttering closed. "Maybe she already has. Maybe she visits every single time we dream." And as they drifted off to sleep, a final single snowflake floated past their window, glowing with that same soft, magical light, a tiny promise just for them. And so Sammy and Lily learned that the greatest and most wonderful wishes are the ones that live inside your heart. As they fell fast asleep, the snow continued to whisper gently around their cozy cottage, carrying their sweet dreams all the way up to the stars. Good night, little dreamers. May all your wishes sparkle brightly too. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe for more dreamy stories. Sleep well. Welcome back to DreamyTime Bedtime Stories. Tonight's story is called Sammy and Lily's Moonlight Sleigh Ride. So close your eyes, snuggle up tight, pull your blanket up to your chin, and let the gentle snowflakes carry you into a wonderful dreamland. It was another quiet and peaceful night in the magical Snow Hollow forest. The stars were twinkling high above, glittering like tiny diamonds scattered across a deep, dark blue sky. Inside his cozy little cottage, Sammy the bear cub pressed his warm nose against the cold, frosty window pane, leaving a little circle where he breathed. "Lily?" he whispered to his best friend, who was already getting sleepy in her armchair. "Look outside." Lily the bunny, with her long, floppy ears, giggled softly, her whiskers twitching with delight. "You're right, Sammy," she said with a yawn. "If the moon is a sled, then maybe we should go for a ride." Just as she said that, a gentle hooting sound came from outside. They peeked through the window again. There, in the soft glow of the moonlight, was Grandpa Hoot, the wise old owl who knew all the secrets of the forest. He was busy harnessing his tiny wooden sleigh to two very friendly snow deer. Their antlers shimmered with a beautiful layer of frost, sparkling like they were covered in moonbeams. "Hoo-hoo! Would you two little adventurers like to join me for a moonlight ride?" hooted Grandpa Hoot, his big round eyes shining kindly. Sammy and Lily's eyes lit up with excitement. They had never been on a sleigh ride at night before. "Oh yes, please, Grandpa Hoot!" they shouted together, quickly putting on their warm scarves and mittens. Wrapped up in a big, soft woolen blanket, the two friends climbed aboard the little sleigh. Grandpa Hoot gave a soft hoot, and the sleigh began to glide over the fresh, powdery snow with a gentle whoosh. It was so quiet and smooth. The trees around them sparkled, their branches heavy with snow and ice that caught the moonlight like a million tiny mirrors. Little stars peeked through the branches above, winking down at them as they passed. "Hold tight, little ones," said Grandpa Hoot with a chuckle. The snow deer picked up their pace, and they soared up a snowy hill faster and faster. And then, suddenly, they were sliding down the other side through a magical tunnel made of shimmering silver light. Sammy couldn't help but laugh out loud. "We're flying, Lily! We're really flying!" Lily's long ears flopped happily in the wind as they swooshed down the hill. "It feels just like a dream," she squealed with joy. The cold air felt fresh on their faces, but under the blanket, they were warm and cozy. At the very top of the tallest hill in Snow Hollow, the sleigh slowed to a gentle stop. The snow deer stood perfectly still, their breath making little white clouds in the chilly air. Below them stretched the entire forest, glowing softly under the moon's watchful eye. It looked like a sea of starlight, with every tree and cottage bathed in a gentle, peaceful light. "It's so beautiful," whispered Lily, her voice full of wonder. Grandpa Hoot smiled, his feathers ruffling in the slight breeze. "The moon gives its light to everyone," he said softly. "It's here to remind us that even in the darkest of nights there is always light, and we can all find a way to shine." Sammy snuggled closer to Lily under the warm blanket. He felt so warm, so safe, and so very, very sleepy. The beautiful view and the gentle rocking of the sleigh were making his eyelids feel heavy. As a few soft snowflakes began to fall from the sky again, Grandpa Hoot gently guided the sleigh back down the hill. It drifted gently through the forest, making its way back towards Sammy and Lily's little cottage. The only sound was the soft whoosh of the runners on the snow, and the faint, sweet jingling of the bells on the deer's harnesses. Back home, warm and safe, Sammy and Lily thanked Grandpa Hoot for the wonderful adventure. They climbed into their beds, their cheeks still rosy from the cold night air. Tucked under her own quilt, Lily whispered across the room, "Sammy, that was the best sleigh ride ever." Sammy smiled, his eyes already closed. "The moon makes a wonderful friend," he murmured, already drifting off to sleep. Outside, the gentle sound of the sleigh bells faded into the distance as Grandpa Hoot and the snow deer disappeared back into the forest. And as the two little friends closed their eyes and fell fast asleep, the bright, beautiful moon shone through their window, watching over them like a soft, glowing guardian, keeping them safe all through the night. And so ends Sammy and Lily's moonlight sleigh ride. May your dreams tonight glide through silver snow, and may the beautiful moonlight always find you, no matter where you are. Good night, little dreamers. Sleep well. Welcome back to DreamyTime Bedtime Stories. Tonight's story is a special one, the final chapter of our winter journey with Sammy and Lily. Are you snuggled up and cozy? Great. Let's begin. Our tale tonight is called Sammy and Lily's Snowflake Festival. So close your eyes, take a deep, gentle breath, and let the snowflakes carry you into one last magical winter adventure. It was the brightest, crispest day of winter in all of Snow Hollow Forest. Everywhere you looked, every creature, big and small, was joyfully busy. They were all getting ready for the Snowflake Festival, the happiest and most wonderful day of the entire year. Sammy the bear cub, with his fluffy brown fur, was carefully hanging tiny silver lanterns on the branches of the tall pine trees. Each one shimmered like a frozen star. Meanwhile, Lily the bunny, with her quick little paws, hopped along the forest paths. She was sprinkling sparkling frost powder over the snow, making the pathways glisten and shine as if they were paved with diamonds. Lily looked around, her nose twitching with delight. "Oh, Sammy, everything looks so pretty," she said, her voice full of wonder. Sammy puffed out his chest, feeling very proud. "It sure does," he nodded. "Tonight, the whole forest will shine brighter than ever before." Soon, the central meadow of Snow Hollow began to fill with cheerful sounds and happy friends. The air was alive with laughter and playful chatter. Mr. Squirrel, always the architect, was busy stacking acorns into tall, impressive towers. Grandpa Hoot, the wise old owl, sat on a low branch, carefully tuning his tiny fiddle, its strings making sweet, hopeful notes. The snow deer, elegant and graceful, pranced in wide circles, their hooves gently stamping out perfect snowflake shapes in the fresh snow. It was a beautiful sight, a community coming together in pure celebration. Then, as the afternoon sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a warm golden glow across the landscape, a quiet hush fell over the forest. Every creature stopped what they were doing and looked up at the sky. A single perfect snowflake began to drift down from the heavens, and this snowflake was different. It wasn't just white, it sparkled with an inner light, brighter and more beautiful than all the rest. Lily gasped, her eyes wide with amazement. "Sammy, look! It's the winter spirit snowflake!" Floating gracefully just above the meadow was the very same glowing, magical light that had granted their winter wish just a few nights before. The winter spirit's voice, as gentle as the rustling leaves and as soft as the falling snow, echoed through the quiet forest. "Thank you, my little friends," she whispered to everyone. "Your kindness, your friendship, and your love for one another have made this winter glow with a special kind of magic." She lifted her graceful, shimmering hands towards the twilight sky, and as she did, the heavens filled with a breathtaking spectacle. Thousands upon thousands of shimmering snowflakes began to fall, each one glowing with its own soft inner light. They danced and they twirled, lighting up every corner of Snow Hollow Forest. The whole meadow was bathed in a gentle, silvery glow. Everyone cheered and clapped their paws and wings. It was as if the stars themselves had decided to come down from the sky to join their wonderful celebration. As the magical festival slowly came to a peaceful end, Sammy and Lily found a quiet spot by the bonfire. They sipped warm berry tea from little wooden cups, watching the last of the embers glow. Sammy turned to his best friend. "You know, Lily," he said softly, "every winter feels more and more magical with you by my side." Lily smiled, a gentle, knowing smile that reached her eyes. "That's because friendship makes everything sparkle, Sammy. It's the real magic." The flames flickered lower and lower, and the glowing snowflakes continued to float lazily from the sky, each one a tiny, whispering thank you to the good-hearted creatures of the forest. And so the Snowflake Festival filled Snow Hollow with light, love, and a warmth that had nothing to do with the fire. Sammy and Lily fell asleep that night, right there by the embers, curled up under a blanket of silver snow. They dreamed of new adventures to come and of brighter tomorrows, filled with even more friendship and joy. Good night, little dreamers. May your own heart always shine, just like a snowflake. Sleep well. Welcome back to DreamyTime Bedtime Stories. Tonight's tale is called Sammy and Lily's Springtime Surprise. So pull your blanket close, breathe in softly, and drift into a world where winter's end brings new magic. The snow that once sparkled white was slowly melting, and tiny green shoots were peeking through the ground.
Sammy the bear cub blinked awake to the sound of water trickling outside. He stretched and yawned. Lily, do you hear that? The snow is singing. Lily the bunny hopped to the window. It's the sound of spring, Sammy. The ice is melting into little streams. They both smiled. After a long, cozy winter, the forest was waking up again.
The two friends put on their scarves and went outside. The air was cool but full of sunshine. They followed the trickling sound through the trees and discovered a tiny meadow hidden beneath where the snow once lay. In the center of the meadow was a patch of earth glowing softly, and from it, a single flower bud was beginning to bloom. Sammy knelt beside it. Lily, it's beautiful, but where did it come from? Lily tilted her head. Maybe it's another gift from the winter spirit. As they watched, the little bud opened wide, revealing a silver and gold flower shaped exactly like a snowflake. Its petals shimmered with light. A soft, familiar voice floated through the air. The winter spirit, gentle and kind. My dear friends, she whispered. Every season leaves a little gift behind. You cared for the snow, you shared its magic, and now spring blossoms from your kindness. The flower sparkled one last time before turning into dozens of tiny glowing seeds, each one drifting away on the breeze, carrying light and warmth across Snow Hollow. Sammy and Lily watched the seeds dance through the trees. It's like snowflakes made of sunshine, said Lily. Sammy smiled. Maybe that's what spring really is, winter's dream coming true. They sat together in the grass, feeling the sunlight warm their fur and listening to the quiet songs of the forest waking up again. And so, Sammy and Lily learned that every ending is just the beginning of something new. The snow had melted, but its magic lived on. In the flowers, in the forest, and in their hearts. Good night, little dreamers. May your dreams bloom as gently as spring. Welcome back to DreamyTime Bedtime Stories. Tonight's tale is called Sammy and Lily's Rainbow Promise. So find your comfiest spot, take a slow breath in, and let the colors of this story paint your dreams. It had been raining all morning in Snow Hollow Forest. Raindrops hung from the branches like tiny glass beads. Inside their cozy cottage, Sammy the bear cub and Lily the bunny watched the gray sky through the window. The rain feels endless today, Sammy sighed. Lily smiled softly. Rain helps flowers grow, remember? They sat together sipping warm honey tea while the wind hummed softly outside. Then, just as the rain began to fade, a soft golden light touched their window. Look, Lily, cried Sammy. The sun's coming back. They ran outside into the fresh, shiny world. Raindrops sparkled on every leaf, and the air smelled clean and sweet. Then Lily gasped, Sammy, look up! High above the trees stretched a beautiful rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, arching across the sky like a bridge made of dreams. It's so big, said Sammy. Do you think it touches the stars? Lily giggled. Maybe, but I think it touches hearts instead. They stood in the meadow, the same one where the snowflake flower once bloomed. The ground glowed softly with new grass and tiny blossoms. And at that moment, they saw something magical. A faint shimmer floated above the rainbow, the winter spirit, now wrapped in soft golden light. Little friends, her soft, echoing voice whispered, every storm ends with light. This rainbow is a promise. That kindness and hope always return. Sammy and Lily smiled. We'll remember, said Lily, and we'll keep spreading light wherever we go, added Sammy. The rainbow glimmered one last time before slowly fading into the clouds. But even after it disappeared, the world still felt brighter, and their hearts felt full of color. That night, as they curled up under their blanket, Sammy whispered, Lily, when it rains again, I won't feel sad. Why not? She asked. Because I'll know a rainbow is waiting at the end. Lily smiled sleepily. That's the rainbow promise. And so, Sammy and Lily learned that every rainy day brings the chance for something beautiful. When the skies seem gray, remember, a rainbow might be just around the corner. Good night, little dreamers. May your dreams tonight shine in every color of kindness and hope.